Next up in our series of head-to-head motorcycle manufacturer comparisons should be a debate for the ages: Ducati versus BMW. These two companies have the most egregious fanboys, and I can already tell the comment section is going to be a dumpster fire in this video. You all probably know where this video is headed based on my personal track record, but hey, you never know. Only one way to find out, let's get into it. Ducati was founded in 1926 by the Ducati brothers, Mario, Wario, and Luigi. Just kidding, it was Adriano, Marcello, and Bruno Ducati. The company initially produced vacuum tubes, radios, and other electric components, but later began producing motorcycles. So they were sort of like the proto-Circuit City, RIP. Like many motorcycle companies, Ducati started by fixing engines to traditional bicycles. Ducati's first motorcycle, the Cucciolo, sorry for my Italian boys, was just that, a 48cc engine mounted on bicycle for cheap and easy transportation. In the 1950s and 60s, Ducati gained fame for its high-performance singles and innovative desmodromic valve systems. In the 1970s and 80s, Ducati began producing larger displacement V-twin, L-twin engines and became known for their sport and racing bikes. During this time, Ducati proposed the 900 Super Sport, which has been considered to be the first true race replica street motorcycle ever made. Since then, Ducati has never strayed from making high-performance racing machines. In the late 90s, they produced the Ducati 916 Superbike that was designed by Massimo Tamburini and has been considered to be one of the most beautiful motorcycles ever made. It was known for its iconic design, high-performance engine, and handling, and by the 2000s, Ducati had expanded its product line to include more street-oriented and touring-oriented motorcycles like the Ducati Monster, Hypermotard, and the Multistrada. The Monster has been Ducati's best-selling motorcycle. If the 916 solidified Ducati as a racing tour de force, the Monster is what made them a household name amongst average riders. Today, Ducati produces a wide range of motorcycles, including the current iteration of the Monster, the Retro Scramblers, the Diavolo Muscle Cruiser, and of course, the Panigale Super Sports. Ducati has had a long history of success in motorcycle racing. Throughout the years, Ducati motorcycles have been ridden by many famous racers and have won numerous championships in various classes of road racing. In the 70s and 80s, Ducati's sport and racing bikes, such as the 900 Super Sport, were very successful in endurance racing, winning numerous World Endurance and National Endurance Championships. In the 90s and 2000s, Ducati's 916 and 996 models achieved great success in World Superbike, winning many riders and manufacturer championships. In recent years, Ducati's Panigale models have been dominant in World Superbike Championship, winning several riders and manufacturer championships. Ducati actually has the title for the most World Superbike Championship wins with a total of 15, the most recent being won in 2022 with rider Alvaro Bautista. And of course, Ducati recently won the 2022 MotoGP Championship, but that's a prototype class and we're not going to go there because BMW doesn't race in GP. Can you tell where my allegiance lies in this video? The history of BMW motorcycles dates back to 1923, when the company began producing its first motorcycle, the R32. The R32, not to be confused with the R32 Skyline, was powered by a flat twin engine, which would become a signature feature of BMW motorcycles for many, many years to come. It's the worst sounding engine, changed my mind. In the following years, BMW continued to expand its motorcycle lineup, and in the 1930s, the company was producing a wide range of models. During World War II, BMW's motorcycle production was largely focused on military vehicles, but after the war, the company resumed civilian motorcycle production. In the 50s and 60s, BMW's motorcycles were known for their high-quality engineering and sophisticated design. In the 1970s and 80s, BMW introduced new models such as the R90S, which was a popular sport bike, and the R80GS, which was an early example of the adventure touring genre and rode by competitors in the Paris-Dakar Rally. In the 90s, BMW continued to develop new models, and they were uglier than ever, such as the R1100GS, which was considered a benchmark in the adventure touring motorcycle category and helped establish BMW as one of the leading motorcycle companies for lonely dads with more money than testosterone. In recent years, BMW has refined their motorcycles, such as the S1000RR, which is their high-performance leader bike. Historically, BMW has had a presence in motorcycle racing. In the 20s and 30s, BMW motorcycles were successful in various forms of road racing, including the Isle of Man TT, and they won several national and international racing championships. In the 50s and 60s, BMW actually dominated the MotoGP sidecar class of the Constructors' Championship, so there you go, BMW boys, something to cheer about. BMW competed in the Superbike World Championships as well, having first entered in 2009. They participated in the championship with the S1000RR model and has had reasonable success with it. BMW riders have achieved a few podiums and a few race wins. In 2013, BMW decided to pull out of the Superbike World Championship, however, BMW returned to the championship in 2018. Since then, BMW has competing in World SBK again with the S1000RR, which has seen a few championship podiums but never earning an actual championship with a rider. Sad. So how are Ducati and BMW viewed today? Ducati, while being the punchline of reliability jokes for the last 40 years, are inarguably industry leaders in terms of innovation and performance-oriented motorcycles. If their World Superbike record is any indication, Ducati is good at making incredibly fast and exciting bikes. Their reliability has gotten significantly better over the last 20 years, but these motorcycles can still have some Italian gremlins that like to wreak havoc without proper maintenance. And despite the quirks that come with selling tens of thousands of motorcycles every year instead of hundreds of thousands, there's also no denying that Ducatis are some of the most aesthetically pleasing motorcycles ever made. Their design and the sound of the engines are often considered to be god tier. If you want a motorcycle that is different and bespoke and far and above more exciting than a Japanese bike, Ducati is a good place to look. BMW's perception is a little less nuanced. They are considered to be a luxury brand, which in motorcycling translates to over-engineered and soulless bikes. Their old air-cooled boxer motorcycles were pretty cool, solid, and capable, and it is impossible to argue that BMW did have a lot of industry milestones in the 80s and 90s, implementing a lot of technology that other manufacturers weren't as quick to adopt. But their current lineup of bikes are just kind of meh, in my opinion. There are plenty of people who love them. Those people are brand simps with incalculable decision-making processes. Like people buy S1000RRs and R1250 GSs that most of what you see. But let's take a look at some specific motorcycles and see how they stack up. Neither company offers much in the way of an entry-level motorcycle except for the R310 GS and the G310R from BMW. So I think the first category that is a fair comparison is the BMW R9T versus the Ducati Scrambler. Both motorcycles come in a few different trim options, and the Ducati Scrambler has two different engine sizes you can get. Neither bike is going to satisfy the scrupulous spec sheet warrior, but that isn't really the rider category that the company has in mind with these motorcycles. Both bikes lean into the retro heritage styling with air-cooled engines, a stripped-down design, and a reliance on charm and character. The BMW R9T has an 1170cc boxer twin engine that makes around 110 horsepower and 86 foot-pounds of torque. In standard BMW fashion, this bike is shaft-driven and features a single-sided swing arm. It also has a single-plate dry clutch, which can be cool or annoying depending on who you ask. Unrelated to the bike's performance, but I seriously dislike the name R9T. It's a bit strange and confusing to read, but anyway, the R9T will easily outperform even the most inexpensive Ducati Scrambler, the Icon, which is an air-cooled 803cc L-twin engine that makes 73 horsepower and 48 foot-pounds of torque. But the Icon also comes in at $4,000 cheaper than the BMW. A more fitting comparison is one of the larger Scramblers like the 1100 Dark Pro. This bike has a 1079cc L-twin making a more substantial 86 horsepower and 65 foot-pounds of torque, which, as a side note, the two-valve air-cooled Ducati engines, they are just chef's kiss. They're very good. It also has fully adjustable suspension and Brembo brakes. The R9T has a base price of $15,945 and the Scrambler 1100 Dark Pro has an MSRP of $13,895. Both bikes are pretty evenly matched in my opinion. The BMW makes a bit more power, but the style of motorcycle relies pretty heavily on personal preference and existing brand loyalty. If we're doing a BMW video, we have to acknowledge the ADV dad sitting in the cuck chair in the corner. The BMW R1250 GS is the kind of quintessential BMW motorcycle. It has the 1254cc boxer twin that makes 136 horsepower and 105 foot-pounds of torque. It is outfitted with all the adventure touring bells and whistles. It has fancy suspension with a crazy telelever front end, tech, a USB charging port. Like, we get it, who cares? Do you know what it doesn't have? 170 horsepower and a V4 soundtrack. Ducati makes the Multistrada as the chariot for the retired former track day riders with a fat wallet who still likes to have fun. If the 1250 GS is a boring dad, the Multistrada V4S is the crazy uncle with the Playboy bunny tattoo who brought you and your friends booze when you were 15. The Multistrada has all the same adventure touring creature comforts, but with a spicy V4 engine. It's like the combination we didn't know we needed. Don't need all the ponies the V4 has to offer? There's also the Multistrada V2, or heck, even the new Desert X from Ducati rivals many of the smaller ADV bikes in BMW's catalog, and I recently test rode that one, and I really liked it. I guess what I'm saying is, you know which type of dad you are. You know deep in your heart which bike suits you. Do you want a GS because Obi-Wan rode one from Tatooine all the way to Hoth, or do you want a Multistrada so you can power wheelie all the way to cash your social security check? The choice is yours. Now guys, it's never too early to start preparing for the riding season, so we're doing another pop-up giveaway. This time though, I want to help you stay connected. We're giving away the Cardo Pack Talk Bold Communicator System. Complete with JBL speakers, it helps you keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the bars so you can stay connected on any adventure. Whether you're riding with a buddy in a group of 4 or a pack of 15, enjoy the highest quality long-distance reception a motorcycle communication system can offer. Now you can queue up Hayabusa Man and the Kyle Anthem on permanent loop. With all new natural voice operation feature, you'll never have to press a button, turn a wheel, or move a slider ever again. Just say, "Hey Cardo," and your Pack Talk Bold does the rest. Cardo makes some of the best communicators in the game, so you're not going to want to miss out on this giveaway. It's super easy to get entered to win. Head over to shop.yammie.co, pick out anything you want from our site, and you'll be automatically entered to win. This giveaway is available to all 48 states in the lower US, by the way. There are no codes required, but this giveaway will only last for this week. This is one you don't want to miss out. Time is running out. Head over to shop.yammie.co, pick out anything you want, you'll be automatically entered to win. And I guess we need to compare the Ducati Panigale V4 against the BMW S1000RR, right? That's what you saw in the thumbnail, so yeah. Well, both motorcycles are going to be brain-meltingly fast for the average rider. There is no denying that. They both make over 200 horsepower, and the Panigale has an 1103cc V4 engine, and the S1000RR has a 999cc inline 4. But do you know what the S1000RR doesn't have, will not have, and has never had? A World Superbike Championship. Yeah. The Panigale is more expensive, but come on. Do you want a cold, sterile BMW that feels like you're riding a video game, or do you want a motorcycle that will actually light your pants on fire? I'm on Team Panigale V4 for this one. And also, the V4R, come on folks, come on. Since we're nearing the end of the video, I want to talk about a few other motorcycles. Ducati is famous for the Monster. Does BMW have a motorcycle that rivals the Monster in panache and pedigree? Don't think so. S1000R, R1250R, get out of here, forget about it. Ducati has the Hyper Motard as well, a motorcycle that in its nature is almost the antithesis of the BMW brand ethos. Fun hooligan machine? That's a little outside the scope of BMW's brand. I think the only area where BMW brings more to the table than Ducati is in the touring category, with the K1600 and some of their other offerings. But I think if you're in the market for a massive touring whale, you're probably not looking at Ducati anyways. So, how can I wrap this up? Look, both Ducati and BMW make great bikes. They're expensive, they're awesome, they're luxurious, all that good stuff. But there really isn't even a ton of room for comparison. The market and customer base that they each gravitate towards are pretty different. Outside of being European brands with a higher price point, there aren't all that many similarities. BMW makes motorcycles that are really buttoned up and mature, whereas Ducati makes motorcycles that are exciting and wild. Each company has a very unique and polarizing brand that does a lot of work in weeding out any critical cross shoppers. If you're at all familiar with the channel, you know I gravitate much more towards Ducati. Hell, I own a Ducati. But does that mean they're better? Well, that's your choice to make. Actually, no, it's not. I'm telling you, they're better. Fact, cheese is the most shoplifted food in the world. Must be all those cheese-obsessed girlfriends and wives. Goodbye. Keep watching Yammie Noob!